Welcome to The Bank is Open, presented by Pickett Sports. Boom Fantasy. The NBA is back. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. We got a stacked show, a stacked room here. Matt McAfee, NicLarson, BradThomas, Jerry. Boys, what's going on? I guess we'll just get right into it. We got a ton of games tonight, so let's jump in here. Let's start with the earliest game, the Celtics and the Pacers. Celtics laying 8. Brad, I'll start with you. Side total, and just for the audience, just because there's so many games, we only have a limited time. We'll probably scoot through these pretty quickly. But Brad, Celtics, Pacers, what you got? Who you like?
Yeah, I didn't end up taking anything in this. Well, I didn't even. So I always do my little fun $1 parlay where I put some sides together. I did take the Celtics at -8 in my side, but I don't really have much conviction on that play. This is probably one of those games where I hope the Pacers kind of take like an early lead, and then I can get a little bit better line because I'd probably want to bet like the Celtics at -5 somewhere.
Nick, anything for you here?
I got nothing in this. The only thing I looked at was Tatum rebounds and Robert Williams rebounds, but didn't pull the trigger on either. So, I mean, I don't know. They might have to rest Tatum after playing him 40 minutes in the All-Star game, but I didn't take anything.
Matt, you anything?
Yeah, I'll jump in there. Robert Williams rebounds. I like it a lot. I'll go ahead and make it an official. 9.5 is a little juice to the over, but I think it's worth it. You just look, he grabbed 12 in only 22 minutes in the last game against them. I think if he gets a full run, he could ladder this. I'm surprised. I thought for sure I would see a Time Lord ladder on Nick's.
It almost showed up.
Almost showed up. Oh man, but yeah, you can go back to last year. He did it in at least 3 out of 4, excuse me, 2 out of 3, and then the one that he didn't, he had 9. So I think that's a great look for a straight. And if you want a side, then I guess I would take the Pacers in the points here. But I'm not going to get involved on that.
Before we get to Jerry, I would just say they have these conference seedings out, and there's so many. I wish we got into more of these the other day. Over under season win totals, exact seed. You can basically bet these teams any way you want. The Pacers, to me, and I think this will be a theme. I probably should have harped on this more. I think the Pacers might be one of these teams that pulls the plug once we get closer to the draft. Wembanyama, as I'm getting a middle finger from our producer Eli, who is not drinking a Diet Coke. I just think Pacers under 35.5 might be worth a look. Some of these bad teams might just pull the plug. But Jerry, what do you got here? Celtics and Pacers.
Yeah, I'm not really touching this game, but I was looking at the lines and nice little bankroll builder maybe is Robert Williams 8 rebounds, Halliburton 8 assists. I mean, when Halliburton plays over 30 minutes, I think it's last 7 games, he's only missed that line once. So expect heavy minutes from him tonight. I mean, that's not a bad look. It's -103 on FanDuel. I didn't really shop around. It might get a better price somewhere else, but 8 rebounds, 8 assists, almost even money. I'll take it.
All right, we got through that one pretty quickly. Moving on, Pistons, Magic. I love this Magic team more than anybody. Brad knows that. I think 13-1 to make the play is interesting. I'm not. I mean, laying 8 with this Magic team is a different story. I'd be inclined to take the points. I haven't bet it, but this line has moved up. Jerry, let's just go snake order here. What do you got here? Pistons, Magic, side, total, prop, whichever way you want to go.
So I was staring at Markelle Fultz because I'm obsessed with this guy's assists. I always think he's going to go for a double-double every night.
He's played well.
But the frustrating thing about the Pistons, I mean, they're second to last in defensive efficiency, but the problem is they don't give up a lot of assists. They're kind of middle of the pack giving up assists, and the problem is because they foul everybody. I think they're first or second in the league in fouls given up. So that's the problem when you bet on assists with guys like that. But I think it was points and assists. I got to double check, but I think it was 20.5 on DraftKings, and I would rather take that for Fultz. Actually, it was points, rebounds, and assists. And he's been rebounding well. You look at his last 5 games, he's had at least 4 rebounds, which is big for him because he's a guy who could go no rebounds in a game, but he's been more aggressive lately. Obviously, they have a little bit of a different lineup now. They got Cole Anthony back, Gary Harris is back, so we're going to have to watch it play out. But Markelle Fultz is going to be my guy. I mean, 6 assists is a little juiced down, so I'll probably take points, rebounds, and assists at 20.5.
All right, Matt, you want to jump in here? Anything?
Man, this is one that to me is a full stay away. There's some new players like working into the Pistons rotation here. I have no idea how many minutes Wiseman's going to get. Bagley's back too. So like the whole front court is a mess. To me, it's just a stay away.
Nick?
I'll be that guy. I have 2 plays for this game, even though
Let's go.
I'm with Jerry. I laddered Fultz assists. Detroit has the fourth most assists to point guards, 9.2 per game. He had 9 against them last time out. I like Fultz in this game to dish out some assists here. And then my other one, I'm not a huge fan of this guy. I just like the matchup. Bogdanovich points. He's had 28 plus in 3 straight games before the break. I know the lineup stuff's a little different now, but I don't think it'll affect him too much. Magic allows second most points to small forwards, and they also give up the most threes to small forwards. So if you want to look at 3-pointers also with Bogdanovich, that's also a spot. So the baseline's 22.5. It goes all the way up to 35, which is plus 1,100. I just like that spot for him.
Brad, take us home. What you got here?
I thought this game was kind of funny. So, as you guys know, I love the Magic, and my buddy, my Pistons friend, was like, "Hey, I'm going to the game. Are you going?" And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to go, but let me break down this game for you. First, I was shocked to see that we were 7-point favorites. I don't think the Magic would be 7-point favorites to anybody. And then when we get to our show, it gets to 7. So I was like, wanted to do a little bit of research, right? I knew the Magic were high against the spread because of those early numbers. They'd be like 8-point dogs in every game. They're 4th in the NBA against the spread. But out of the top 12 teams, they're the only team with a minus margin of victory. They're at minus 2.8 for their margin of victory. It's just a fun fact for people to kind of throw around there when you're at the bar drinking, that the Magic are top 4 against the spread, but still one of the only losing teams in that top 12.
That's a hell of an opening line, by the way. If you see a girl and she's a little out of your league and you drop that one on her, my goodness, forget it.
I think you're gonna have to get married at that point.
What bar is talking Magic basketball?
Magic spread.
I guess that's because I just live in Orlando, right? Like I just live in Orlando.
I could just picture Brad and his buddy like, no, she's out of your league. I know Brad's engaged, but man, I got this Magic point differential nugget I'm gonna drop on her.
I bet she doesn't know Bull Bull's playing tonight.
No, but I was kind of interested in Franz points, but then I would play 15.5. It's at 17.5, and I end up passing. I do want to see what Wiseman does, for my fantasy purposes more than any, because I have Jalen Duren.
All right, did we get everybody? I think we're going through these so quickly. I think it's look. I would take the 8 if anything. It's a little rich for me. Like I've mentioned, Magic 13-1 to make the play is not crazy. You worry about with all these bad teams pulling the plug, but at 13-1, they've been a little feisty. They've been okay here, so that would be one I would be interested in and lead toward taking the points. Moving along here, and bank is open. Pick it Sports, Boom Fantasy. Fun game. Cavs hosting the Nuggets. Cavs by 2.5. Total 23.5. I think it's probably a stretch to say this is an NBA Finals preview, but I guess crazier things have happened. Nick, start us off here. Cavs, Nuggets, what do you like in this one?
Yeah, I don't have anything official for this. I did look at Garland's points for this game, but I haven't taken anything yet. Like you said, it should be a good matchup. Should be I'm assuming Murray plays, it should be a good backcourt matchup there. And then of course you've got the Jokic versus the front court of the Cavs, which should be interesting to watch as well. But
It's the TNT
I'm probably just
game,
gonna watch.
right? TNT game? I think so.
No, it's not.
That's Memphis and Philly.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't have anything official for this one. I'm probably just gonna watch this one.
Brad, anything for you here?
Not yet. I am going to be on Jared Allen double, but I want to find a parlay piece kind of when I get offline. I'll probably tweet it out. I think his double is great, but at minus 115 when literally our show the week before the All-Star break, it was plus 125. It's just he's hit it so frequently now. I get it, but I just can't pay that price. I just want to find something to marry with it. Probably one of you guys will say something that will spark my interest, and I'll probably say it out here live.
Jerry, anything for you, Nuggets and Cavs?
Do you believe in birthday narratives?
It's a loaded question.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Depends what they did the night before.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's Harden's birthday, probably fade. But
It is Jamal Murray's birthday today. So take that what you will. But besides that, before he got that brutal injury a couple years ago, his biggest game came in Cleveland. Now, mind you, it's completely different rosters on both sides. But when you step on that court, when you had a 50-point game, 8 threes, one of your biggest games of your career, you remember that. So maybe it sets off a little spark on him. It's his first game back since that big 50-point game, so maybe he goes off tonight. But 3 threes at plus 100 on his birthday, I'll go with it.
All right, interesting. And what are the odds on that?
Plus 100 on FanDuel.
So he's just you're over 2.5 threes plus 100.
Plus 100, yeah, even money.
I kind of like that one. I might end up tailing with that one, having that one in the count. Brad, anything for you here?
I already touched on this one a little bit.
Oh, I
but
got
if
you already.
wanna-
Sorry.
yeah.
Whoever wants to jump in, then Matt.
Yes, I haven't given one yet. So I think this one's a fun game. I'm a Cavs fan, so I try to remove a little bit of bias, but I do think they can win this straight up. How they get there is probably by, the backcourt, the guys just going off. Jokic, he'll do his thing, but I think it'll take a big game out of Mitchell and Garland. A lot of scoring. I want to see 50 points out of those guys. But in terms of props, I mean, it's tough. I've got Jokic for, like, if you're looking at Brad, you mentioned you were looking for like a little builder stuff.
Yeah.
I put together something that's kind of like a bunch of other random odds and ends and made a parlay with it. But Jokic for 10 rebounds, 8 assists. It's like minus 146. You could, I think that's pretty reasonable. His scoring is so up and down, like he's capable of 30 or 40 every night, but he just doesn't want to go for it. And if Murray's active, then I would think he kind of concedes a little bit of that offensive load to him. If Murray's out, then his points will obviously be a great look. But I lean Cavs in this one. At home, nice, well-rested game. Maybe if you want to parlay, that Jared Allen double-double, you could do a PPD with the Cavs win, get that nice plus money.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, so fun game. I'll definitely be watching, but again, it's going to come down to Murray. Just make sure he's ruled in because it is such a big factor. If he's out, Jokic points go up, Porter points go up. Reggie Jackson, what the hell are we going to see without him? That's kind of who knows. Like, does he start? Nick, what do you think? Is Jackson starting if he's out?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Bruce Brown, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not exactly 100% sure what they would do with the rotation there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a weird one. And Gordon's still out, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, Gordon's out.
Yeah, so weird one for sure.
All right, another fun game as we're zipping through these here. Sixers hosting the Grizzlies. I can't remember a 2 seed with less buzz than Memphis. I just don't know anybody that believes in them. I'm not going to be the one to jump in and play contrarian. To me, it's kind of a regular season juggernaut. It's amazing how much Steven Adams has meant to this team. They haven't been the same without him. But Philly laying 3 against Memphis. Brad, if you want to start us off here, what do you like?
Yeah, I kind of did like the Grizzlies plus 3.5, which kind of got me interested in digging into this game a little bit more. I'm end up taking Santi Almata. I know I'm going to pronounce his name incorrectly. Over 8.5 points. Let me just pull this up real quick. Over 8.5 points, and that one's plus 100, minus 106 on FanDuel, and over 9.5 points at plus 125. Listen, without Steven Adams, he's hit this number in 7 out of 10, and it's not like the 76ers are going to do like this fantastic job, covering a guy who can pop out to the wing and shoot, especially in that secondary unit. Like, looking at the numbers, he's a guy who's capable of putting up 8 shots in a game. So if you have a guy who's taking 8 shots, he doesn't have to make that many to hit this number when he's taking what? If you say he takes 8 shots, we'll say 4 of those are threes. He makes 2 of those. That's a pretty safe number to bet. Kind of like a fourth option in this backup rotation.
I'm putting you on the spot here. What's his double-double just top of the head? Because I think I think you're onto something that's a good handicap.
I don't know what his double-double off the top of my head. I can look it up right now. I have it right here.
I remember him from college, man. He was a stud. He played in like the Patriot League. It was one of those really
Yeah.
small conferences, and he was just a monster. I'm happy to see it's translated to the NBA, and it looks like a decent career for himself. But we can get back to that. Jerry, anything for you in this one?
All right, we touched on birthdays. Do you believe in revenge narratives? We have DeAnthony Melton playing the Grizzlies again. Last time he played them early in the season, he did try to go off against them. I remember we were all on him. We were hoping he would go off for 4 or 5 threes. He ended up getting 3 out of 8, but he tried, and that's all you can ask for. And so he's probably going to see about 20 minutes tonight. We'll see, more or less. But 2 threes, his line is minus 120. That's fair, but I'm going to go for the jugger. I'm going to go for 3. I just had it up. Where is it? 3 threes. 3 threes at plus 290. Not bad. He's going to play about 20, 25 minutes range, and he could definitely hit those easily within a 5-minute span. So we'll see if he actually comes through tonight, but I really like that. I like the revenge narrative. I love narratives. I mean, if you don't know by now, it's kind of my guilty pleasure. So far I got a birthday and I got a revenge, and I have one more birthday coming up later.
Nice.
Not bad. I think I'm going to tail that. So that's what, over 1.5 threes is about even money?
It's
Yeah,
minus
that's
120. It's a little juice. Like I got to shop around. I didn't shop around yet, but
It's not bad.
it is minus 120.
Speaking of shopping around, Pickett Sports, a great resource to do that. And of course, Boom Fantasy, check them out. Nick, you want to jump in here on this game?
Yeah, I got one play for this game. Everybody's favorite guy, James Harden. I'm taking his points in this game. Before the break, he had 25 plus and 3 of 5. And then it's kind of weird, but it's been with different teams. But he's had 30 plus against Memphis in 7 of his last 8 games. So for some reason, he plays very well against Memphis. So I'm going to ladder his points. 21.5 was the base, and then I'll take it up to 30 for the max here.
They're playing in Philadelphia tonight. I think it's because the Memphis has good strip clubs, so it might be a little different this game.
I wouldn't think of Memphis as a strip club hotbed, but who knows?
You'll be surprised.
Would I? Okay.
They have good barbecue.
Yeah, does that go? Are those correlated? I don't know. We're probably getting off topic. I don't know.
Maybe
Eli
chicken
will
wing
look it
and
up.
strip
Eli
club.
will be looking up Memphis strip clubs while we continue here. Matt, anything to jump in here? Grizzlies and Sixers.
Yeah, I've got a same game parlay on it. I think it's some decent looks. Embiid should cook. Memphis, I mean, whether it be, Xavier Tillman or Brandon Clark, Embiid will just eat those guys alive. Should be an easy 30-point night for him. I don't always trust his rebounds, but he should get, at least 8. Probably more like, I think his line's like 11.5, but if you're scared, 10 is probably appropriate. He should be able to grab those.
I'm scared.
Yeah, you're scared.
His rebounds always scare me, man.
They do, man.
He could get like 14 a game, and he just lets other people grab them.
Yep, he sure does. And you've got like eager beavers like flying in from out of nowhere, like Maxey and stuff like that, like Shake Milton, like, I got to get this rebound. Like, dude, nobody's betting your rebound. Stop it. I think it should be a fun one. I really do think this could be a game that goes over. I like Harden double-double. I like, his assists are solid looks. Tobias Harris points are too low right now. Even if he only gets I think he only need 14 to cash him tonight. Like, wow. He's gonna take some shots. Like, I think that's a decent little look. It's hard to trust Jaren Jackson at all, because if he sees any of Embiid tonight, I mean, it's just, he's gonna be sat down on the bench so quick.
Bet his fouls, maybe that'd be a good play.
Yeah. If we can find a book that allows you to bet fouls, I would take Jaren Jackson over 5.5 fouls tonight. But yeah, I don't know. It's a fun game. TNT, hopefully it's not a stinker. First game back. Let's hope for an over. A lot of player props cashing, and I'll post the same game parlay on Twitter here in just a second.
Before we finish on this game, Eli has some stats about the Memphis strip clubs. He gave more quantity than quality. I think it's what 0.6 per 100 people. He gave me some sort of 26th most. So there's a lot of them. So I don't know if look, if you've got 8 7th round draft picks, doesn't mean you have a 1st round draft pick. So I don't know. We can look more into that. Maybe we can get JD to fund a field trip for us, so we can do some on the ground reporting.
Research, right?
Exactly. Anything else to add to Nick? Did you go on this one?
Yeah, I had Harden's points.
We're all good on this one. Anything else from anyone before we move on? No, doesn't sound like it. All right, let's see here. And I was going to mention Memphis. I don't like this game, but they're minus 160 at FanDuel. And again, a lot of these books did a great job being creative with these props. Memphis is minus 160 to be the 2 seed. I don't think they're not catching Denver for the 1. I don't know that the Kings are going to catch them for the 2. But to me, they, barring some injury, and look, they're already injured. To me, they're pretty locked into the 2. I don't love laying minus 150, minus 160, but seems like a decent bet. But we'll move on here. Raptors and the Pelicans. Raptors are minus 6. Both teams sort of on the fringe here in terms of the play-in. Pelicans are getting 6. Matt, start us off here. Pelicans and Raptors.
Not a game I love necessarily, but I think Brandon Ingram's probably in a good spot to get his points. He's cooking right now. With a CJ McCollum handling the ball, the Raptors can't really press and double him. He's going to catch it in good spots, and I like him to take advantage of whatever his matchup is. So Ingram points for me is my favorite look.
Nick, anything?
Yeah, he stole my thunder there. That was almost another one that ended up on the thing was the Ingram ladder. I didn't take it, but Ingram points and Van Fleet assists were 2 others I was considering. Van Fleet's been handing out a lot of assists lately. But yeah, I think Ingram's in a great spot to fill up the points tonight.
It's a shame about New Orleans. They're just never healthy. They got so many good players, but man, it's just you're at the point with Zion where you got to be concerned if he can ever just stay on the court for a year or 2 in a row and be productive and be the player we were hoping he's going to be. It's kind of sad, but I don't know, Jerry. You want to jump in anything with the Pelicans and the Raps?
Yeah, this is probably going to be a stay away game for me just because I'm so frustrated on betting on the Raptors because, you bet on Van Vliet to get assists and it's Scotty Barnes. You bet on Scotty Barnes to get assists and it's Freddie. So it's one of those things. Like my guilty pleasure is usually Scotty Barnes triple-double. So that's something I'll probably throw like $2 on. It's plus 5,500. But other than that, I'm probably just going to stay away from this game altogether.
Brad, what you got? Make the magic.
I have nothing too much on this. I flirted with Trey Murphy over points, but I ended up passing. But how about the Magic? Coming up as a contender to try to get Fred Van Vliet this offseason. They're ready to throw big money at him, which was kind of shocking to me.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I know they're super young. It probably doesn't fit their, they're not ready to win now, but I could see it. I mean, at some point you're gonna want to try to win. So
and you have to spend money.
Right.
They got so many young guards. What are they? I guess.
Well, they already dropped R.J. Hampton. They said, "Peace, dude. You're out of here." I figured they were cut.
I love Van Vliet,
Great
but he's
pick there.
getting a little older. I think he's losing a little quickness. He's not the biggest guard, so I don't know.
I saw that report. That was a weird one because
It was wild.
So Gary Harris, Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, Markelle Fultz. Where does Fred fit into that?
Right.
He like Will said, he's on such a different timeline. Like Fred's a piece you plug in if you're trying to win now. So it'd be weird throwing him in there with all those young guys.
Maybe a little veteran to show them the ways as he gets to the twilight of his career, just sort of that sort of presence in the locker room. But if you're paying big money for that, I don't know. It'll be interesting. But
We got another Jameer Nelson coming in town.
yeah, exactly. Did everyone touch on this one? I think we got through this one, right?
Yep.
Spurs, Mavs, this is a game I do have a play on. I like the over. Look, when Kyrie and Luka are going to play, I'm just going to take the over until I get deterred otherwise. To me, they're going to score at basically a number 1 team in the league level. I don't trust their defense. Spurs basically give up 125 every time they touch the floor. I like the over, and I'll give you another bonus bet here. You can find this at Bet Rivers. Spurs under 20.5 wins. I think they're going to go full tank. I don't think they're going to anywhere near a win. Why would they? So I'll give you Spurs under wins, season win total, and I'll go over for this game. To me, this game gets in the 240s, the 250s. But Nick, start us off here. Anything Spurs, Mavs you're looking at?
Yeah, I didn't have anything myself, but there was a play that I did see of Allen's that I liked in today with Malachi Branham's points, 13.5. He's averaged in his last 18.1. I just think he's a guy that might be blowout proof in this game. If it does get out of hand, they'll still keep him in there playing. Also, if you want to look at his 3-pointers, he's had 2+ in 7 of his last 8. I think his line for that was 1.5. So just one guy to look at maybe in this game. Someone's going to have to put up points for that Spurs team as bad as they are.
And they are bad. Brad, anything you want to jump in with?
No, I didn't handicap this game. I looked at it and I was like, this is gross. But let me ask you this, Will. Would you consider the Mavericks team total at 127?
Yes,
And
that might be a better way to play it. That might be a better way to play it. You might be right. You really isolate your handicap and figure the Mavs. I like fading the Mavs D too, so
Yeah.
I don't mind going either way because I'm doing both. I'm backing the backing the Mavs O and I'm fading their D. So, look, I'm not opposed to it. I'm certainly not opposed to it.
Cool. I'm in.
Anything, Jerry? You want to jump in here? Anything you got on this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a shot on Josh Green to hit over 1.5 threes. It's plus 116 on FanDuel. He's hit this in 3 of the last 4, at least 5 attempts in all 4 games. And like you said, this guy's gonna be blowout proof. This is exactly the kind of game you want to get your young guys some running. And they have they believe in him. They have a future for him on that team. So I think he gets his reps. I think they let him go off a little bit. And at plus 116 for something he's hitting 3 of the last 4, I love it. Against a Spurs team that's not good at all. So.
Yep. Matt, anything? Any of you guys disagree with my Spurs under wins? Anything like talk
Don't
me out of
disagree.
hey, they're gonna win 7 more games or whatever?
No.
I'd have to look at their schedule and
Doesn't matter. They don't
but
play. They play
yeah,
all
but I
NBA
don't think it
teams, so they
matters,
don't play
right?
like University of Nevada. They play all NBA teams. So
Hey man, they somehow backed their way into 14 wins.
yeah,
Like,
they did.
you know what I mean?
They
It's
did.
it. Here's the problem with Spurs. They're all young players, and they don't know they're not supposed to win. So like, and every team that runs up against them, they're like, "Oh, we'll rest our star tonight.
Right.
We're gonna."
True.
You know what I mean? Like, I guess I'm not betting against you. I'm just
Yeah.
making the case. You know, I'm the public defense attorney that's
I
got
like
to
it.
defend this team. So, yeah, you don't get an honest effort out of most teams against the Spurs every night because it is. I mean, your B plus effort is usually good enough to get a win, and it's the NBA, man. Make and miss league,
Right.
so they could get hot, hit a bunch of threes, and any team can lose. But no, I think you're probably right. Johnson will probably end up with like a tight back or something like the last 2
Yep.
weeks, and they'll just shut him down. And you'll see little things like that where they're injured.
If you're not hurt, they'll bring Joe Pesci out with the bat to make sure you are hurt.
I just watched The Irishman last night. He was pretty good in that one, but
He's great in
Then-
everything.
yeah, that's true. I think you're right. The under is the way to go. If you want to attack this, but you're scared of like the blowouts. Luka's 25 and like 6-6 with a Mavs win is pretty reasonable. I think he can get all of those numbers pretty safely. That's a around even money type of bet. You're laying like minus 109. It's about the equivalent of a straight bet on something. But yeah, I mean, if he's out there, he's going to get you 25, 6, and 6. I mean, that would be way below his averages. And I don't it with all these other good games on the slate. This is probably one that a lot of people aren't even going to watch. So
Right.
Yeah.
I guess if you're like a big time Mavs fan or Lucas fan that you just want to bet on him, that's a good way to go about it.
All right. We covered that one. We got everybody.
Yeah, I just threw. I was talking about finding some with Jared Allen. I threw over 228 points in that game with Jared Allen double. It pays plus 116, so it's enough for me.
All right, and to clean up the Nuggets Cavs game earlier, Jamal Murray is in for Denver. But moving on here, Utah and OKC. This is another game I have a play on, and I got a bunch of plays sort of tied to this. I like Oklahoma City, and boy, FanDuel lets you do this. You can parlay season win totals updated. These are correlated because there's only 20-something games left. OKC and the Jazz play each other somehow 4 times in the next 20-something games. I feel like Utah is in punt mode. They traded a bunch of guys. I kind of think OKC is going to at least go for it until they see a reason not to go for it. They already got a million picks. We can argue whether that's the right thing to do or not. But I think you can get plus 240 on something that's correlated. I think that's a good play. I like OKC tonight. I'm just a fan of watching this team play. I like their talent. So, Brad, talk me through Jazz and Thunder. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I do lean OKC here. I end up taking Shea Gilgeous-Alexander over 31.5 points at minus 125. Utah's, their defense is worse against the primary option and the point guard. And I also wanted to play a little bit of that all-star motivation, right? Like he was crying about LeBron James blocking him. And he only scored 9 points in that all-star game.
I didn't see that. Was he serious? Did he say that?
Yeah. He was like, LeBron James didn't try against anybody until I went for a dunk and then he wanted to block me. I got something for that. I got something for that. That's what he said
Yep,
in his interview.
that
But
was great.
it was great. I'm glad LeBron James blocked him. Put a little effort there. You ruined his night, his big day. But yeah, I think he's gonna come with a little spice. And even if he doesn't, like they played against each other earlier, and he took 19. Oh no, wrong game. He took what was it? They didn't play each other. The last game he took 21 shots and missed. He only scored like 27 points. Like the volume's gonna be there, and I don't think they're gonna play any defense. So it's a good line. I hate taking over 30s. Like it just feels gross. But
Right.
if you're gonna have that volume, especially with the primary option, like I have to take it.
Yep. Nick, anything to jump in here? And you guys, if you want some, give me some feedback about FanDuel letting you parlay the season win totals with only 20 left. The fact that you can parlay these to me is really interesting. Of course, if they split, it doesn't help you, but one team wins 3 out of 4. I think it's obviously profitable. But jump in here, Nick. What do you think about it? Any
Yeah,
of
I don't
this?
have anything specifically for this game, but I will be keeping an eye on it because, like we said last show, I do like OKC to make the play-in tournament. So I did end up taking that. So nothing
Love
for
it.
this game, but hopefully they can pull off a win against the Jazz here.
I love it. I love it, Matt. Jump in here. Be the voice of reason. Tell me why my bets are stupid or why they're not.
Oh man, I would never tell you your bets are dumb. I like your looks. I don't have as much faith in the Thunder as a
Boo.
lot of
Cut his
people
mic, Eli.
because it's for me. I think the same reason that you talk about the Spurs shutting it down. OKC is not winning a title. They're not winning a playoff series. They're not doing anything. So like, what is the point of burning these guys the last month of the season if they've shown you in the past that they'll shut people down? And I trust that organizationally, Sam, he's gonna step in at some point probably, and hey, we're gonna get these guys shut down because I just don't see the advantage of playing them right now.
Do you
Long
think
term.
you think SGA would get pissed if they get shut down again? You
Probably.
think you think that would hurt the long-term
And I
relationship?
don't disagree with anything McAfee's saying.
Right.
I agree with all of it except the fact that they're actually going to do it. I think the time to do it was like 30, 40 games ago. This isn't something where, I don't know, you eat 90% of the meal and you say, all right, I'm on a diet now. Well, you already ate 90% of the meal. Unless you're not, there's no
Right.
spitting it back up. You already played most of the season. So, I
Well,
mean,
I mean, 20 games is still. I mean, that's a decent chunk of the season. What is
you
that?
got to start now, though. I don't think they're going to
20,
start now.
27%.
Yeah.
Yeah, here maybe if something happens where, because I still think the Lakers will catch them and pass them, and I think that's their competition. I'm not worried about the Jazz like you mentioned. I think it's the Lakers they have to worry about, and so if they can stay ahead of the Lakers, then they'll be in and you'll cash. So if you're
Yeah.
going to do a parlay, I think your better bet is with the Lakers and the Jazz. You know what I'm saying? So. Um, I don't know. I like them in this spot tonight. I do think that it'll be a fun, high scoring game. A nice little parlay together. If you're interested in, I've been talking to people about like trying to get like a little same game parlay around even money, where you don't have to be too invested in the side or the total. And hold up, you could go Shea 25 and Laurie 25, which is a fun little one. That gets you, let me double check, make sure I'm not. So that is minus 136. That's a playable number. And you don't have to worry about, you could even throw an alt total in there to get it closer to even money. There's just a lot of volume for these guys to get their shots. So.
Yeah.
Jerry, you want to jump in? And then somebody had a question after Jerry goes about who we like for most improved player. So, Jerry, take us through this game, and then we'll go from there.
All right. Well, SGA is the obvious play here. I think he's going to have an incredible run the next few weeks. But I like Josh Giddey's rebounds, 7.5 at plus 110. That's not bad at all. You look at his last 10 games, he kind of limped into the All-Star break. He wasn't as aggressive on the glass. But the previous 5 games, the first 5 games of that 10-game stretch, he hit 8 rebounds in 4 out of 5. The Jazz give up the 6th most rebounds to his position. A lot of long rebounds, a lot of opportunity for a guy like him who's going to be aggressive, looking for the ball. So could see a double-digit rebound game from him today.
All right, most improved player. SGA is the short shot plus 135. I guess him and Markkinen are tied at plus 135. Brunson plus 350, and then there's a huge drop off. Halliburton 50-1, Claxton 90-1, Cam Thomas 90-1. Just quickly, I guess I'll go over. Anybody does anybody want to just jump in that they have a strong thought, a bet? Brad, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll jump in. For value wise, I'd take Jalen Brunson.
Okay.
The Knicks could be the only playoff team out of there, and they have that New York market.
New York.
As
Yep.
as we saw with the NFL awards, like how important that New York market is.
What do you mean with the NFL awards? What are you talking about?
With Brian Dabble winning, with
Yeah.
Sauce Gardner winning, like I'm not Sauce Gardner, not that one. With
You can stop it. I just wanted to hear Dable out loud again. That just
okay.
Say it again.
But yeah, and Jalen Brunson, he's been playing absolutely crazy. And what the biggest thing about this is no one thought you were going to do it. And I think that story comes more out of Lauri Markkinen and Jalen Brunson than SGA, where everyone knew SGA was going to be good. But Jalen Brunson, people were kind of saying that the Knicks are they wasted their money on him. So I think at plus 350 is pretty good value.
Yeah. The only counter is like last year, Ja. I thought Ja was already good. Was it last year when he won?
Yeah,
I
it
was
was
like,
last
he was
year.
already good. So I never know what to make of this award. It's sort of like comeback player of the year where you don't know what they're voting on. But I don't know.
If the Thunder, I think if the Thunder make the play-in tournament though, like it's SGA's 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, you might be right. Matt, anybody else, anything before we move on?
I mean, I think when you look at the numbers, Laurie, it probably is the deserving winner. This was the first time we've seen him actually get an expansive role. SGA was, like you said, he was already good. And so it's kind of like the similarities with Ja are there, where yes, his scoring did uptick a little bit, but like Laurie just skyrocketed. And so I think if you're gonna give it to anybody, and the most deserving player doesn't always win. So what we think is who's the most deserving and who we think is going to win might be two different things. I think SGA will win. But I believe that Laurie is the most deserving, and I like Brunson too. I think Brunson's really shown like, hey, he's skyrocketed, but he was already really good. He kind of falls in that SGA territory as well. So, yeah.
The other thing to add with the awards, and I think to piggyback off your point, Matkafee, there's some recency bias there where it's like, oh, Sirianni lost a couple games, then they look bad that last one, he's going to lose. Like, I don't think these voters think of it like as in depth as we do. I think it's like sort of what's the word association, like, oh, who's the coach of the year, and then they just write something down. I don't think they spend that much time. Like, we sit here and analyze it and overanalyze it. I think there's some recency bias with these awards. So, all right, 2 games to get to.
I got one more thing, Will.
Yeah. Oh, we got a SGP, right? The DraftKings.
Yeah, we got the new Gold Boys special
go.
here that's on DraftKings. So if you want to find it, if you open up the app, on mine at least, it has that refer a friend banner thing that goes across, and then underneath that there's the NBA tab, the NBA on TNT tab, college basketball tab. If you click the NBA tab, and you can kind of scroll through those, it has like JJ Redick's promo, it has like Lebitard show promo. The first one on mine is the Gold Boys promo, which has been voted on for tonight, and that is Embiid over 32.5 points, SGA over 31.5 points, and then Kyrie over 25.5 points, and that is plus 521.
All right, check that out. Good job, Nick. We got 2 more games to get to. Bank is open. Picket Sports, Boom Fantasy. Let's see. The Lakers, who everybody loves now, and I'm a Laker fan, but I just don't buy it. They need to earn my trust back. They've just been a tire fire these past 2 years, really, since they won the championship. They're laying 6. Golden State is hurt. Jerry, you want to start us off here? Lakers and Warriors. What you got?
Second birthday narrative.
Uh-oh.
D'Angelo Russell's birthday today. He actually had 3 birthdays today. It's actually Andrew Wiggins' birthday too, but he's out for personal reasons today. D'Angelo Russell actually hit 7 threes versus the Warriors. It's a overblown revenge narrative. I don't really believe it in this case. It's one of those things. Revenge narratives for me are like case-to-case basis. You can really see if a player really doesn't give a shit. But a guy like Harrison Barnes, when he plays the Warriors, will light him up for 4 threes almost every time. But D'Angelo Russell's birthday is today. He's settling into his role. His 3 threes, I got to just double check here. What was his 3 threes? I think that's where the value was 4 threes was good plus money, and 5 threes, forget it. It was like plus 700. But if you want to take a long shot, he did hit 7 threes versus the Warriors about 3 weeks ago when he was on the Timberwolves. So that is something to look at. Just double checking.
This is a rare case where this
It
would
was-
be a
it was
revenge
plus
game no matter
750
what
for
team Russell
5.
was playing on. If he was on the Warriors, it'd be a revenge game against the Lakers because he's already been on them, and it's a revenge game the other way. So yeah. All right. So what's the official play, Jerry?
3 threes are plus 115. I'll take that all day with a
All
guy
right.
like him.
All right. Brad, anything for you here?
Yeah, I this was gonna be a half unit play for me, but I just ended up making it nice and easy and just do a full unit play for all my plays. I went with Anthony Davis over 24.5 points. Listen, so I just thought this was kind of funny, right? You know, like when you do your research, you find things. And I was reading this interview from Kevon Looney where he was like, I want to be, well, they asked him if he thought he was a good defender, right? And he was like, yeah, I think I'm a good defender. I want to be an all defensive team player. And so I was like, is he really that good of a defender? And I looked over the last 3 seasons, he's regressed in his defensive rating each season, which is kind of funny. And I also think it's because, you know, he's the easiest guy to attack. But Anthony Davis, he didn't hit this number against them last time, but he still took 19 shots. If Anthony Davis, you know, remains aggressive, which he has been, I think he can hit this number. But you guys know, we talk about this time and time again, how we feel about Anthony Davis. This is kind of like a mystery sometimes, but this is going to be the nightcap. I went with a full unit. I probably advised to bet a half unit on it because he can certainly go out there and put out a stinker.
Or end up in the locker room in the second
Yeah,
quarter. You
oh my
get that
God.
little alert that
Anytime he
he's,
falls down, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
100%.
Draymond gets in his landing area, and
Yeah.
you just see the wince and the
wince,
the
yeah.
Peter Griffin meme, like,
The wince.
oh.
He did it last time I was on his points. He winced, and then he went to the locker room, and then I was like, oh great, here we go. He came back, and he only needed like 3 more points, and he scored like 5. I was like, thank God. But it's always a roller coaster with him.
100%. Sometimes it's a wince and he's back in 5 minutes, and sometimes
Yeah.
it's a wince and reevaluated in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Matt, what do you got here?
Yeah, did you see the Reggie Miller? Like he popped Kevin Harlan last time, where he's like, "Oh, Anthony Davis is wincing," and
Yeah.
every time he winces, it's 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something. Reggie's is so good. Gosh, but that's an aside. I kind of like I have a same game parlay for this one too. It's up in my channel. You guys can check that out. But as like just a sneaky prop that I think has some value, I like Kuminga tonight. I think with Wiggins out, Kuminga is going to jump in and get a majority of those minutes. And with his speed and athleticism, he might even see some LeBron. And we know LeBron is not engaged 100% of the time defensively. He'll look past as somebody goes like, "Whoa!" and do that. Like, where were you? You were supposed to help. I think he might get a few runouts tonight. His athleticism I think could give the Lakers a little bit of problem here. So it's a low number. I think it's only like 10.5. And yeah, I mean, right now, who's going to compete for those wing minutes? DiVincenzo needs to play some guard. But right now, I mean, they're pretty thin. And I mean, Ty Jerome, I guess, could get in there a little bit, but to me, I like this spot for him. I think as long as he doesn't get into foul trouble, he gets a lot of minutes tonight, and I think he could get a few good looks when they're going to be a little bit more worried about Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson.
Nick, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I like what Jerry said with Russell look here. I had him down looking at his points ladder, but I think threes is a good look on this one as well. It should be interesting. I mean, it's go time for the Lakers now. They don't really have many more games to screw around with or games to rest. It's like they got to go now. So it'll be interesting to see rotation wise how they tighten that up and who's playing with who. And I think I'm just gonna watch this game as far as it goes with props that way. But should be an interesting game.
Brad, what you got? Did you jump in already?
Yeah, I jumped in already.
One thing, Eli just let me know that D'Angelo Russell did not play on his birthday last year. The game after he scored 37 points. So,
All right, good info. Good info by Eli, who is not drinking a Coke. I think he's got a Diet Coke, wings,
Yeah.
etc. Did not come through. Not going to be
Oh, he's
Ooh.
part of the
He's
show.
hurting right now.
Cheers,
One
Eli.
final game. I mean, I was going to say you guys can't drink beer on the show, but you're not drinking beer on the show. So you're drinking whatever that is. Final game. Boy, this is the NBA in a nutshell. Some issues with the Blazers playing. So Lillard and who is it? Is going to be out
Jeremy
for rest.
Grant.
Here. Jeremy Grant, yes. Thank you.
Mhm.
Out for rest. They play against Sunday. I mean, you can't even make it up. It's just kind of ridiculous. Kings up to 11 now. I don't know. We know how these things go. Everyone sits their players. We give them no shot, and you look up in the second quarter and they're up by 12, and you can't really explain it. So I wouldn't be shocked here, but I don't know. Help me out here. Matt, you can start. What do you got here? Kings and Blazers. How you handicapping this one?
Man, yeah, I think the beam gets lit tonight, and they could blow them out. 11 is a lot in an NBA game, as you know, but
Especially when you don't play good defense. But
yeah. I mean, I guess the over then makes some sense too, because I mean, Portland's, or I guess you want to isolate your handicap because
yeah,
you lose two good scorers
Yeah.
in Dame and Grant. Maybe just go Kings team total, but yeah, I mean, I think they'll beat the hell out of them. Simons his ankle exploded before the All-Star break, so who knows how long it's going to be for him to get back. That's their three best scorers they're going to be without
Right.
tonight. So who is where are the points going to come from? If you
Cam
wanna
Reddish.
look? Yeah, Reddish. Matisse Thybulle might get 10 points tonight.
Bonzi
career
Wells.
Career high. Yeah, I mean, Drew Eubanks double tonight. Like, you could get creative with it. But
Sabonis' dad might be playing her.
Arvidas.
yes, but I mean, he will be in attendance.
Father-son matchup.
Not my Vitas, not your Vitas. He's our Vitas.
Arvidas. I mean, that'd be fun to see him break out his I forget what shoes he wore, but like those big high tops from the '90s. Like see him just grab him and run out there for a few minutes. But yeah, I think Kings team total, good look. I want to make sure. Let me double check. It's not crazy. Home team 123. I mean, I think they probably average close to that. So yeah, I think that's probably a good look. Fox, You got to be careful with. It's one of those things. He may just get into score mode, but I do think he can get his 20 points and 4 or 5 assists before a blowout gets out of control. So again, if you want to this will be a game that's on at the same time as the Laker game. So I understand this is kind of like the undercard. But yeah, Fox like 24 dimes and a Kings win, I think is a nice little same game parlay. But yeah, go ahead, guys.
Doesn't this feel like a Cam Reddish Chuck game? Where he
Yeah.
just runs up and down, just chucks the ball. Like, it's my
Yes.
show today. This is the only
Yes.
time of the year. This might be my only game where this is my show for the rest of the season. And so I'm looking on FanDuel. I'm looking at top point score at
Ooh.
plus 1,000 for Cam Reddish.
Ooh,
Wow, that was way different than what I was going to
Yeah.
play, but I love that.
I mean,
Holy
it just
smokes.
feels like a master class where he's going to go for 35 and then he'll score 12 points for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Wow, that's way better.
like a
look.
little
That's
more than 10-1, but I think I'm going to tail you. That's not bad.
that.
Brad, what you got?
Yeah, I end up taking Cam Reddish over 1.5 threes with Portland money line at minus 126, and then I'm gonna put a little bit on.
You
over...
mean Sacramento money line, right?
Wait, what'd I say?
Portland.
Oh no! I'm not. Oh guys, no, I'm
No,
not that
Gold
crazy.
You're
Boys
getting
does
robbed.
a thorough drug testing, so you're not paying Portland money line.
Yeah, no, I meant sorry guys, Sacramento money line. It comes out to minus 126. This is a crazy jump, right? It goes from 2 threes to 3 threes to plus 175, which I'm gonna play as well. Like even stats back it up. The Kings are the worst against the second worst for threes allowed to the small forward position. It's gonna be Cam Reddish like come out game. Like he had 18 points in the last game he played 30 minutes. Like I think he's gonna just shoot. But he also is one of those guys when he's not shooting well, where you can be like, this guy took 8 threes and he only made 1. So I'm still gonna play it though. Like I feel like this is a good opportunity to get some Cam Reddish action going.
The good news about Cam Reddish is he'll keep going.
He will. He won't care. He's just gonna keep firing away.
Yeah, no doubt. Anybody else? Anything to add here? Nick, did you go?
I've got one play for this, but I took it I took it actually last night before the Dame and Jeremy Grant. I took Fox assist ladder. I don't know if I'd still play it now, but I mean he has the potential to feed Sabonis still, but he's done me right the last few times with his assists. Blazers allow third most to point guards. He had 7 against them last time, so I've already got it in, so I'm riding with it. But up to you if you still want to take it.
All right, I think we covered everything. By the way, Kings plus 800 to be the 3 seed at FanDuel. Like we've talked about, the Nuggets probably going to be the 1, just about definitely going to be the 1. Grizzlies probably the 2. I don't know. The Suns with Durant out, who knows when he'll be. I mean, it sounds like he's close to being back, but you figure they'll give him some rest time. The Clippers, they're always resting guys, as we know. I mean, can the Kings, they just seem to plug away and play their guys. Could the Kings be the 3 seed? I don't think that's crazy either. So something to keep an eye on. But boys, this was fun. Guys, thank you for listening. Good luck with all your plays. The bank is open. Picket Sports, Gold Boys, Boom Fantasy. We'll be back next week, Tuesday. Good luck with all your plays. See you then.